Now, crabs, lobsters, scallops. The southwest is famous for its shellfish, drawing foodies from far and wide. But could that all be changing? Fishermen are telling us they're facing a crisis. Blooms of octopus travelling up from the south as our waters become warmer. And now there's scientific evidence to back that change up, and it's having significant effects on marine ecosystems. Well, Dr Bryce Stewart is the lead author of this new report. Just give us a little bit of the background. We've heard about these octopus before, but they keep coming back.
What's unusual this time is that, numbers have absolutely skyrocketed. Since about January last year is when we first started to get reports. The commercial landings of this octopus species last year was 65 times the recent average. So that gives you an idea of how dramatic the increase has been.
And this is having a huge effect on fishermen,
Yeah,
shellfish.
sure. Yeah, so it's doing probably a couple of different things. It's definitely eating things like crabs and lobsters in fishermen's shellfish pots, and it's even catching scallops on the seabed and bringing them into the pots to eat, like setting up a buffet for them.
They've got good taste.
Well, yeah, they're connoisseurs, aren't they? It's like nice seafood there. But we also know, at least to some extent, they're also not just eating things in the pots, but also on the seabed as well. And so it seems like that commercial fishermen's catches have really been affected. So in this region last year, crab catches and scallop catches were down about 50%. And lobsters about 30%. So that's pretty difficult for fishermen to deal with.
I know that fishermen were part of your study. I mean, what are they asking for? Because this is decimating the industry.
Yeah, sure. So fishermen were a really key part of the study. We interviewed about 40 fishermen. A lot of what they did was give us their observations, and we learned lots about octopus biology and how they're breeding here and things like that. But, some fishermen did quite well for a period of time catching octopus, but not everyone, and that's the key thing. Particularly the small boats weren't able to adapt so easily. So I think moving forward, if the octopus is still here and those populations of shellfish are depressed, then they're going to need to diversify, and they're going to need different gear. They're probably going to need to find ways of actually storing the octopus and improved export markets and all that sort of thing.
And all that takes money, of course, and studies take money. Who's going to fund all of this?
Well, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, our job is to, sort of be the fisherman's voice, if you like, and put this out there. And one of the things we've called for is a more detailed sort of study of the social and economic impacts on fishermen and find out who's really struggling and who's doing okay, basically, and then you can direct that support more effectively.
We've heard the word climate change many times. This has been attributed to that, but this has happened before.
People thought it happened every 20, 30 years, but the last one's not 75 years ago. But what the key thing is, this is a warmer water species, and our ocean off the southwest coast has been incredibly warm for the last 2 years. It's what we call a marine heat wave. Going forward, because the conditions are now different, it looks like the chance of this happening again in the near future, and in fact maybe this bloom continuing, is much more likely. The other thing is that in the past, the blooms stopped after a very cold winter, and we are just not getting those cold winters anymore. And that's an effect of climate change. So they're sort of key things make it more likely going forward.
Really important study. We've tried to cram in all that information in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk again, I know, but for now, Dr Bryce Stewart, thank you.
Thank you.